website at uufcc.org or ask someone. We are glad you have chosen to spend your Sunday morning with us. Now, I was trying to remember who I should thank for providing this sacred space for all of us this morning, and I counted up to 42 people. So, all of you 42 people, thank you so much. And now we will enjoy the prelude by Ryan. Ryan, thank you so much. He brings such beautiful music to this fellowship. Our service is a sacred time, and the chalice is our sacred symbol. It is our reminder that we gather in community, in a safe community, in this community that we have created together. Reverend Scott Taylor, inspired and with the use of John Shar, has been building the justice we long for. May this flame cast its light toward better days, reminding us that the future is not simply a place we are going, but a place we are creating. The path of new possibilities will not be found, but made. The justice we long for does not sit at the end of an inevitable arc. It lies in the bending. That is ours to do. A new world is waiting to be built, friends. May our time together light that way. As Cliff lights the chalice here in the sanctuary, please join me in reciting our affirmation. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our aspiration, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another. Thank you, Cliff. The opening words this morning are by Reverend David Breeden, where equity and justice transcend mere dreams. These words are from Soul Matters, and we have permission to use them. Welcome to this place where equity and justice transcends mere dreams, where there are the air we breathe. Enter this sanctuary, all who yearn for respite for a world rife with scarcity and inequity, rife with relentless shackles of privilege and bias. Come, embrace this space. Be embraced by this place, this refuge where scarcity and disparity dissolve into we together, crafting a place where the breath of life is equity and justice, cherished, manifested, sustained. Please rise in body or spirit and sing hymn number 170 in the gray hymnal, We Are a Gentle, Loving People. want to let people who are having problems with sight know that we sing a phrase, and then we are singing for our lives. There's a phrase, and then we are singing for our lives. So we sing a phrase, we are singing for our lives. So you know exactly what we're doing, okay? And here we go. Ready? We have a long tradition at UUFCC of sharing our joys, sorrows, and life milestones by entering them into the Book of Life. These messages can be written in the Red Book, which is at the end of the sanctuary. Those at home are welcome to email your entries to bookoflife@ufcc.org by Saturday. We also embrace the tradition of dropping stones in the bowl. The water symbolizes this community, and the stones represent your joys or sorrow. Well, I will have Trudy bring up the Red Book. Thank you. Wow, thank you. You can open the page for me. Woo! Okay. The Azar family mourns the loss of Abraham Rafidi at age 91. He'd long been the patriarch force for this family, and that's by Kay. On Friday, my dear friend and next-door neighbor, Anna, moved to Ocala. I already miss her more than I can express, and that's from Dennis. Thanks to everyone for your support for my poetry. A great turnout at the reading, and it warmed my heart, and that's from Sharon. Now, please come forward if you have joys or sorrows, and place them in the bowl.
I don't know if this thing's on or not, but I can project. First stone, don't kill me. Happy belated birthday to Ryan. The second stone I have is for the dearest person in my life, my mother. You can't hear me. Okay. See. My mother's birthday is today. She turns 96. Hard to believe she has someone so young in her life, but happy birthday, Mom. I love you.
This stone is for the safe birth of our nephew, Phil, and Melissa's baby.
I have two sorrows. My brother-in-law, Ken, passed away on Friday, and our friend Ed has been ill, and I hope he gets better.
These three stones are a tribute to our service people who have just recently passed away.
This is in memory of our son Chris, who we lost to small intestine cancer at age 56 in the Daytona area in early December. But we're happy that he's without pain, and he had a very good life.
I'm dropping this stone in remembrance of Rosa Parks. Today would have been her birthday, and she sat on the bus. Good girl.
This stone is for my daughter-in-law, who's 39, who's pregnant, and we just want to have a healthy, safe delivery.
I put this stone in for my friend Brian, who's a nurse back in Ohio, that literally collapsed and had a seizure in his doctor's office, which I guess is the best place to do that, and spent 3 days in St. Vincent Hospital where they could not figure out what was wrong. And just as fast as it started, it resolved itself. So he got to go home yesterday. So that stone is for Brian. And this stone is for learning my lesson. I got my first Florida speeding ticket on Tuesday morning. So I've hired Ticket Clinic, and I'll let you all know if that was worth the $100 or not.
The last stone represents unspoken joys and sorrows in our hearts. May we hold these and each other in love and tenderness so that this fellowship may be a source of strength and comfort, courage and hope in the days and weeks ahead. Please join me for a moment of silence. Thank you. And now we get to hear from our own Dennis. Woo!
Tomorrow morning, hopefully around 7 o'clock, Bosco, my almost 9-pound, 12-year-old canine partner, and I will board my 11-year-old little red Mazda Peanut and head north. I have packed a credit card, my 30-year-old mid-calf length Harris tweed overcoat, Bosco's red down-filled jacket, and a vial of doggy Valium. Our 2-day trip up I-95 will hopefully end late Tuesday afternoon at my daughter Katie's home in Richmond. Then on Wednesday, Jeff, Katie's beloved partner of 20 years, and I will celebrate Katie's 50th birthday. How is it possible that my precious baby girl can be 50 years old? I'm imprinted with images of Katie's cesarean birth and embracing her fragile but very active body into my bonding embrace. Furthermore, how can I be facing my 75th birthday in less than 2.5 months? My reflections on aging are clearly motivated by these two familial milestones. But I was also significantly influenced by Reverend Amy Petrie Shaw's January 7th service about the ongoing circles of life. Finally, my interest in aging stems from my interactions with my neighbors, the folks I interact with at the grocery store, and, to be perfectly honest, my relationships with the majority of you. I've been a Unitarian Universalist for 47 years and have been an active member in 3 congregations. I joined this fellowship in November of 2010, and in the almost decade and a half that I have been here, I have made precious relationships and have been involved in many experiences that have significantly enriched my life. This sacred community is to a great degree responsible for my social and spiritual care and growth. I love UUFCC and the members and friends that make it such a source of spiritual nurturance. Our Soul Matters theme for the month of February is the gifts of justice and equity. Initially, I thought that speaking about aging might not be a good fit with the recommended theme. But almost immediately, I realized that ageism is a significant social problem that clearly falls under the spectrum of injustice and inequality. So I will begin my thoughts about the societal challenges that too many people face as they age in the United States of America. Ageism can simply be defined as discrimination based on a person's older age. In a consumer culture that is based on the appeal of youth, too often we elders are targets of discrimination that devalues or sometimes even abuses us simply because we look like we have lived too long. We are too often perceived as no longer productive and a drain on resources. When ageism is paired with poverty, racism, inadequate educational opportunities, inadequate economic stability, the challenges related to physical and cognitive health, and declining venues for social networking, we are facing social and health injustices of great magnitude. In a 2022 article written by Catherine Parkman and published in Consumer Affairs, I learned that over 15 million older adults are economically insecure. About 50% of seniors are dependent on Social Security as the only source of income. Currently, the average Social Security retirement benefit is just over $18,000 per year. But the true buying power of Social Security benefits has decreased 30% over the last 20 years. Nationally, senior centers which increase social connectivity and promote community participation have experienced significant decreases. Since 2019, funding from the Older American Act has dropped 23%. Now let's consider problems that fellow seniors are facing in our state of Florida and here in Charlotte County. From a 2023 article written by Dr. Joel Cachette and published by Palms West Journal, I learned much to my surprise that despite the rows of mansions that line our coastlines, the state of Florida ranks 38th nationally in senior wealth. During the last 3 years, poverty among older Floridians has increased by 8%, and Florida now ranks 41st in senior housing affordability. Married elders are less likely to be impoverished, but 1 in 4 of us, including me, live alone. Here in Charlotte County, elders are frequently confronted by injustices and inequalities. After all, Charlotte County, according to the latest census figures, is the 6th oldest county in the United States. The median age of Charlotte County residents is now over 62. The message that was shared by Ryan R. during Joys and Concerns several weeks ago has weighed heavily on my heart. Ryan learned via a radio broadcast that the majority of homeless folks in Charlotte County are over 65 years old. Despite a lengthy search, I have not found reliable estimates of the number of homeless in Charlotte County. The very transient nature of homelessness makes counting them extremely difficult. But I believe that an editorial released by the Charlotte Democratic Party and published in the local newspaper, the Daily Sun, in its September 12, 2022 edition, summarizes the crisis quite clearly. The headline for the editorial was, "Homeless count expected to explode." I will quote from the editorial. "Even before Hurricane Ian, we had a homeless problem. No one would deny that. And even before Ian, housing costs and rents in Southwest Florida were among the highest in the nation and out of range of a good percentage of wage earners." Up to this point in this presentation, I have focused on why I believe the obvious. For those aging in poverty, life can be hell. And societally, we as Americans are facing a major social and moral crisis. But what can we do about it? Finally, I will address the challenges and myths that we elders at UUFCC face. I know several young people who think that all older adults are the same. Of course, this belief is not true. Elders include people that range in ages that span 4 decades. And the quality of our lives have and continue to be influenced by our economic status, health care, housing security, adequate nutrition, familial stability, genetics, and community involvement. However, the old adage, aging is not for sissies, is true. As I look across this sanctuary, I see numerous older men and women who are coping with numerous physical challenges relating to advanced age. Approximately 92% of older adults have at least one significant health challenge, and 77% have two. I have a significant hearing loss and degenerative lower spine arthritis. Others I know are fighting cancer, heart disease, diabetes, the loss of sight and sound, and significantly reduced mobility. However, despite these painful realities, the majority of us live at least satisfactory lives. I think the most damning ageist message is that too many people believe that old folks have little to offer the community and exist only in a state of cognitive and physical decline. However, research and my experience within this congregation readily indicates that this stereotype is false. Other myths regarding elders are also falsehoods. For example, many younger people believe that most of us live in nursing homes. In reality, 95% of older adults live in homes within the community. It's not until folks reach the advanced age of 85 plus that that percentage goes up and climbs to about 13%. A second common myth is that elders are not productive. In reality, many older adults, whether out of economic necessity or desire, continue to work. Others serve as primary caregivers and volunteers in a wide range of agencies and public services. Finally, the myth that really makes me cringe is that older adults find it very difficult to learn new skills. While it is true that learning some new skills may take elders longer to master, but the old adage, "You can't teach an old dog new tricks," is absurd. Destroying these myths will help society to view older adults as vital members of the community. One of the greatest challenges elders face across the social and economic spectrum is finding means to deter loneliness. Chronic loneliness frequently leads to states of depression and anxiety. And of course, negative mental health conditions directly affect our physical health. With the loss of the Charlotte County Cultural Center, the Mid-County Public Library, we as an older community have significantly diminished resources, programs, and spaces that foster socialization. While preparing this presentation, I ran across a fascinating article in the August 22 edition of Psychology Today. It's by Dr. Connie Zwick. The article is entitled "Reframing Aging from Decline to a Spiritual Journey, Exploring Late Life as a Rite of Passage to Become an Elder." Dr. Zwick calls this process shifting from role to soul. She believes that it is time to reframe aging as a rite of passage. This passage includes 3 basic steps. First, we and the culture need to understand that aging isn't only about decline and uselessness. This stage of our lives can be filled with joyous possibilities. Some people in their 70s and 80s and even 90s are reclaiming creative aspirations engaging in service for the common good, and learning contemplative practices. They are defying ageist notions of old age. Typically, these elders have made a major life transition by letting go, leaving behind past roles, attitudes, regrets, and identities that no longer serve their development. These struggles are frequently very difficult because they occur in a chrysalis-like state. One is no longer a caterpillar, but not yet a butterfly. But hopefully, many of us will emerge from our chrysalises to embrace a new sense of self, passion, purpose, and vision. At this point, I will shift my focus from the larger community to you and me. How are we dealing with aging and its related problems and joys here at UUFCC? Following this service, we will hold a congregational meeting that was called by 10 very active and committed members to discuss the real problem of staffing our numerous committees and projects with a diminishing number of older members and friends. I am very interested in hearing your thoughts. It's not ironic that your Board of Trustees has been discussing this problem for months, and our ideas are embedded in new drafts of our updated mission and vision statements. We will have until our annual meeting to discuss and revise them. If you haven't noticed, the old and new draft versions of our mission and vision statements are printed on the back of your order of service. Let us read the new drafts together for the first time. Let's hear what they sound like. You can compare the new and old versions later. Then ask yourself this question: how do these documents direct us to live our faith, especially as it relates to our aging congregation? Let us begin with the proposed mission statement, the brief, precise words that capture our purpose for existence. Please read with me. UUFCC is a liberal religious community committed to justice, a place where spirituality, diversity, reason, compassion, service, and fellowship meet. Now let us read together the proposed vision statement, which is a summary of who we want to be and a general map leading us across the broad terrain of our lives and faith. Using this covenant as guide, we provide expanded opportunities for ministries, programs, and fellowships that guide and support our life journeys. We affirm love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is our law. This is our aspiration, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. In the larger community, we will continue to be a strong, relevant voice serving justice and equality. What I will be most interested in hearing during our meeting is what goals should be developed if our mission and our vision statements are adopted at our annual business meeting on March 24th. Our mission and vision will mean very little if they're not followed by goals and programs. These will help us create environments, relationships, and interactions at UUFCC that will help us, its elders, make the transition from roles to souls, and also attract new members. They will direct us as we continue to create a religious community where we can carry all we have learned, all that we love, into deeper spiritual realities. I'm sure you have ideas and solutions. I discovered a short poem in the book that resides by my bedside table, Lifting Our Voices, Readings in the Living Tradition. The poem is by Orlando Brugnola and captures for me, and hopefully for you, wise advice regarding aging. As we move through life finding ourselves always newly wise and newly foolish, we ask that our mistakes be small and not hurtful. We ask that we gain experience. We do not forget our innocence, for they are both part of the whole. Finally, I want to share with you that after my role as president of the Board of Trustees, I intend to continue a deep relationship with this beloved community, because so many of you are teaching me how to struggle out of my chrysalis, and I want to join you in flight during our precious remaining days. May it be so.
Wow. Thank you, Dennis. Please rise in body or spirit in singing hymn number 6 in the gray hymnal, Just as Long as I Have Breath. In the tradition of Unitarian Universalist, congregations exist because of our generous support of members and friends. It is our privilege and our responsibility to ensure the health and future of this fellowship. We have several ways you can give. You can give in the baskets that will be passed around. You can give with the Venmo app made to UUFCC offering. You can mail a check to the office. If you are here for the first time, please do not feel obligated to give. You are our guest today. We will now accept the offering. to sing and dance. Woo-hoo! Thank you so much for your support. Now it's time to highlight UUFCC's events and activities. The back of the order of service has this week's calendar. Also, the weekly update has a calendar, so check that as well. Today I have the following announcements. We have a brown bag lunch on February 7th at noon. We're putting together a Valentine's Day bag for our campus family. Cash, candy, gift cards, books, or other donations will be appreciated. Also, don't forget to check out the current art show before it's gone. That art is absolutely fantastic. And some of our own members are, on there too. Okay, Lori Douglas has a message also.
This is a fun one for those of us seniors who want to stay out late. February 17th at night, it's at 8 o'clock. The Drag Queen Bingo. PFLAG, as you know, this community has been just ultimately supportive in getting PFLAG going. Parents and friends for lesbian, gays, transgendered, and queer, and LGBTQ plus people. And it's been a wonderful experience and has really been taken off with the leadership of Patrick Eaton, in particular, our president. Anyway, so this is going to be at 8 o'clock at night, and it's going to be at Scotty's. Thank you, Scotty's Bar. Yeah, so that's going to be fun. And it's $30 fee at the door. It's a fundraiser, and the proceeds are going to Array, which is our all-rainbow youth organization here in Charlotte County. So if you can support this, whether you come or not, support us, and we appreciate all the help that this community has given us. Thank you.
Our closing words this morning are, "Justice is our prayer." It's written by Reverend Rebecca Savage. We got permission by Soul Matters. Spirit of life, eternal mystery that holds us close, receive the meditation of our hearts this day. We come together in this quiet moment to unify our hearts again towards the clarion call of our time. May justice and equity guide us to greater connections, a greater truth. Our part is just as great to approach dismantling systems of oppression within us in order for us to all be free. To know that when I, to know that when I cherish and tend to the divine spark within me, there is a greater potential for mutual understanding and care. Love is scarce. Our ability to extend compassion and grace can be. I place my hand over my heart and know I can feel the spirit of life within me. I invite you to place your hand over your heart and feel the spirit of life within you. The spirit of life is divine within us. The spirit of life is here. This is the beginning of justice and equity when we go within in order to be of service in our community and our world. So be it. Amen. Now I invite Cliff to come up and extinguish the chalice. Please join me in reciting the words in the order of service. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of hope, the fire of commitment, or the warmth of community. May those ideals shine in our lives and warm our hearts until we are together again. I want to thank all of you for attending this service. And now it's time to put your phones back on whatever mode you use to put them on. Please join us for refreshments and conversations in the dining area, and then there'll be a meeting afterwards. Thank you so much.
with age. And I noticed you left that out. I'm assuming because of your vibrancy, you didn't want to intimidate a lot of the other
Actually, it
males
was in
here.
there, and I
Was
cut
it?
it down.
Did you? I don't know if some of the myths about libido actually aren't myths.